So here we have the beginnings of any number of widgets that we can set the type, right? But what we'd like to be able to do is that depending on what you display, notice that we're displaying the type here, right? But actually, we would like to be able to display different editors, right? Depending on the type, right? If it's a paragraph, then it may be a text area. If it's a image, maybe the URL where you can type the URL, right? So let's do that. Let's take a look at this, right? So one way of doing it is that here in the widgets, let's create just a couple of components for each one of the types of widgets. Right? So for instance, we might have a component for the heading, right? And this is it'll be a stateless component that just renders as maybe H2 heading. Let's do a couple of these, right? So this might be a paragraph. This might be image. And what's the other one? List. Okay. So if we put them here right after the delete, right? Maybe inside of a div. We can just render each one of them, right? So this would be heading, right? This will be paragraph. This could be list, and this could be image, right? If we do that, right? If I add a widget, notice that each one has all of them rendered in there, right? If I add another widget, right, we'll have another one. Yes? So what I like to be able to do is, depending on that drop-down, right? I like to be able to show one, but not the other. Right, just one of them, depending on the value of this heading. Right? So one way that we can achieve that is that we can wrap each one of these components, right, around an expression. Right? So that just doesn't do anything. Right? What we could do is that we can take the value of the widget type. We can take the value of the widget type. We can say, all right, if the widget type is equal to the string heading and, right, then it'll render a widget, the heading, right? And we could do that for all these, right? We can do for all these. We can prepend each one of these so that we'll only render the one depending on the type. And this is if the widget is paragraph, if it's a list, or if it's an image. Right, so if we go back, right, and we add a widget, notice that it shows paragraph. These are because the default is paragraph, but we can change this to image, right, or we can change this to a list, right? And now you have, you know, a different component. Each component can have, you know, its own little world of what to do in that component, right? We can have all sorts of forms in there. You can have all, you know, very intricate behaviors inside of each component, right? You know, that component could include other components, right? So it allows you to build, you know, fairly complex behaviors one on top of another, right? So for instance, in the paragraph, we might perhaps have a text area, right? Right. So we might maybe have here a div, right? And in the paragraph, you might have a text area, text area. In the heading, you might have maybe another drop-down, right? Maybe a select, and the select might be option, maybe heading size 1, and different sizes 2, 3, right? So now the paragraph has the text area. See that? Or if I go to well, that's paragraph. If I go to heading, right, it has the drop-down for the size of the heading, right? And for the lists, you might have another text area that you know, you can put in all the elements and then render them as a list, right? And you can have a drop-down saying if you want unordered or ordered, okay? Excellent. So we know how to render each one depending on the select statement. So let's see if we can save this to the database, right? So let's take a look at that.